Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about today is something that I seriously should have thought about when I was a kid. Yeah. I mean, if I could have answered every question a teacher asked me by meowing like a cat or roaring like a dinosaur, there's no way they could have ever accused me of getting an answer wrong. And when it was time for a quiz or a test, I could have just responded to every question with a paw print. Of course, nobody would have actually been able to get away with such a thing decades ago when I was in school and when I was a kid. Anyone that tried to pull this kind of stunt would have immediately been marched down to the principal's office. But then again, look at the times that we're living in right now. Things have gotten peculiarly absurd in the United Kingdom. According to an investigation that was conducted, schools in the UK are now allowing children to identify as all sorts of things. And, kids, they have a wonderful imagination. They really, truly do. I have an 8-year-old and a 9-year-old grandchild. Their imaginations are wonderful. At a state secondary school in Wales, one child is said to meow when asked questions by a teacher rather than answering in English. I know. In other schools, one apparently insists on being addressed as a dinosaur. One claims to identify as a horse, while another is said to wear a cape and demands to be acknowledged as the moon. In the old days, teachers knew how to deal with this kind of nonsense, but today they're instructed not to correct the children because that is a big no-no. So I have a question for you. When the teacher asks the kid a question and they don't like the answer of the meow, how does the teacher respond? Do they have to meow back or do they just simply hiss? I'm asking. I mean, pupils are claiming that teachers are not even allowed to get annoyed. That you don't understand what they're saying because you don't speak in cat. I mean, what if it's a dog? You have to go grr, bark. So these teachers in the UK literally have to sit there and make the best of it when these students respond with animal noises. How does a dinosaur respond? I'm still learning. I'm a new grandparent. I'm learning. So if Mia or Giovanni comes in here and they start meowing or barking at me, what am I supposed to do? Say bark back or meow? I don't know. I mean, I just don't know how I'm supposed to handle this. I mean, if I was told that I have to allow my students to make animal noises all day, I think I would quit as a teacher. But apparently, one student that identifies as a cat has been doing this for 3 years. So this is normal? All right. In a particularly disruptive case, the pupil complained that when they answer the questions, they meow rather than answer in English. I mean, this is sounding more like a joke, but it's really not. I mean, when I was in school, that kid would have been corrected on day one. I mean, I went to Catholic school. Those nuns, they don't take kindly to this. But these days, you're not allowed to say nothing. wouldn't be proper. In fact, the 13-year-old was recently called despicable by her teacher when she confronted a classmate that identifies as the cat. Oh, shit. So, the 13-year-old, who was called despicable, the girl and her friend, they were reprimanded by the teacher. They're in the 8th grade. They were in a life education class when they were told that they could be who they want to be and identify with who they or what they want to identify as. What if you identify as a reptilian for that day? I don't know. A spider? Oh, God. What if you're a fly? Buzz. Oh. Okay. So, I mean, in fact, didn't we just learn that the public schools in New York are now being instructed to keep a child's identity a secret from their parents in some cases? Oh, Lord. I mean, the New York State Education Department released 42 pages of a new guidance for public schools on Monday that includes a section about keeping their kids' identity a secret from the parents in some cases. The report, titled "Creating a Safe, Supportive, and Affirming School Environment for These Students," maintains that a student's identity should be based on the student's own assertion, and that administrators should keep such information from families if they deem it necessary. What's necessary is that I know what's going on in my kid's life. You know? I mean, do you believe what's going on in New York? Maybe I should call Jason and find out. He's got school-age kids. So, how do you think some parents that have been purposely deceived by these teachers will react when they find out the truth? I think I would be reacting on a whole nother level, don't you? I mean, the stage is being set for some very messy lawsuits here. Sometimes, allowing the students to identify as whatever they want can have some really tragic consequences. I feel what scares me the most is the kids being bullied. You don't ever want that. You don't want the children being bullied. Because I'll tell you, kids nowadays, they don't hold back. Just last year, my grandson got bullied because they wear school uniforms to school. And the only way that the kids can really represent themselves, I guess you could say, is through their shoes. Well, he was being bullied because of his shoes. And he came home one day and he was crying. And I said, "What's going on, G?" And he told me. And I said, "Come on." I said, "We're going to go buy you some new shoes." And I let him pick out the shoes that he wanted. You know, and of course I got Mia new shoes too. But if a school that requires uniforms, you know, and the only way that these kids are being bullied is because of their shoes, imagine what these kids being bullied if they identify as anything other than, you know, human, you know, if they're, you know, choose to be a cat or a horse or whatever. Those kids are probably being bullied. And it's terrible. I understand that children, they have a wild imagination. But I think that all children should be protected because of their wild imagination. And as a society, we have all lost common sense, especially with children. Bullying because of shoes. How ridiculous. If I say that I'm a chicken, does that make me a chicken? And please don't send me any chicken feed to my P.O. box. I'm kidding. But still. But now we're teaching children that they can identify as whatever they want. I mean, if it's just because their imagination, okay, I get it. you know, like I said, I've got an 8-year-old and a 9-year-old grandchildren, right? Then I've got my niece and my nephew. And they've got imaginations, wow, to be young again, you know. But when I say that time is short, I'm not exaggerating one bit, you know. The social cohesiveness of our society is literally coming apart at the seams all around us. But I worry about these children, I really do. And I know it starts at home, I get it. But I think it's more because of their imagination, you know. I don't think it's because they're confused. Because a confused child doesn't think that they're a cat, or a dog, or a horse, or a unicorn, or whatever the case may be. You know, I think it's just their imagination running wild. I really do. I mean, I really think that the teachers play a big part in this as well, you know. Sure, let the kids have their imagination, let them have fun with it. But also, you know, don't keep parents in the dark, you know, because that's when the bullying starts, and we can't have that. I've seen what bullying can do. You know, when I was in middle school and also in high school, I was bullied like a son of a gun. Oh my goodness gracious me. I was bullied. But I was bullied because I developed earlier than every other girl. And I'll never forget their names either. Oof. And they're still the same old, same old. I bumped into them when a couple years ago when Sean and I went up to New Jersey. Ugh. Still the same old, thinking that they're better than everybody else and this, that, and the other. And, you know, that leaves scars that you cannot see. And I think that this is not like an emotional thing, you know, or problems at home or anything. I think that this is just their imaginations running wild, you know, for little kids. I really do. I think it's just the little ones. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. All right. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fear less.